Hello everyone, my name is Roya, and today I'm going to be telling you all about the books that I got during April. Most of these are from Yallwest. I got 10 books at Yallwest, but first I want to show you the one book that was not from Yallwest. The one book that I did not get at Yallwest is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney, and this is about a woman who is in a coma, and it's a thriller, and I won this in a giveaway that Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing did, and so I'm super stoked, and I'm really excited to read this. Now we're going to get on to the books that I actually did get at Yallwest. There are 10 of these, and I'm going to show you them in order, in the order that I got them in. 8 of them are ARCs, 2 are finished copies, and I'm just going to tell you about them. First, I got Saint Death by Marcus Sedgwick. I got this playing trivia. So I played 3 rounds of trivia, and one of those rounds, my table actually was the winning table, so we got books. So this is about a boy named Arturo and some drug trafficking and his attempt to get his pregnant girlfriend, to help his pregnant girlfriend or something like that. So anyway, I'm definitely really excited to read this. It's not very long, it's only 200 pages. So that book I got at Fierce Friday, which was the event that kind of kicked off Yallwest the day before. But so basically though, the first arc that I got at Yallwest was The Epic Crush of Genie by FCE, and I only had heard of this book like the week before Yallwest, and I knew that I just had to get my hands on it. It was like one of my number 1 priorities. And since I had a press pass, I was already in there like right at 9 when the booths opened up, so I ran to the Peak booth and got a copy of this. And the author actually signed it as this is the first autograph ever. Anyway, I have already read this by now. It's really good. It's about a girl who fights demons from Chinese folklore and all this stuff when she's just trying to like get through high school and get good grades and all of that. So I talk about this a lot more in my April wrap-up. So if you want to go and hear some more of my thoughts on it, you can check out that video. This comes out on August 8th. The other arc that was dropping at 9 all the way across the festival was Zero Repeat Forever by G.C. Prendergast, and I was able to also get this as well just because I was already in there right at 9. Thank you, Press Pass. So this is about some creatures called the Nox or something. I'm not sure if they're aliens or if there's something else, but they sort of invade. And it's told in alternating points of view between like a 16-year-old human girl and a Nox. So I'm not sure what this is about really besides that. And it also comes out in August. The next arc that I got is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. And this is about some people who use magic in modern day New York, and magic like used to be a really common thing that people could do, but then people started like losing it or something, and the people who can still do it don't tell people that they can, or something like that. I'm not really sure. And this comes out in July. The next arc that I got was also one of my like number 1 priorities that I just like had to get, and I'm super excited to read, and that is Odd and True by Kat Winters. I've been meaning to read Kat Winters for a really long time, like 2 years, but I still never have. But basically though, this is about 2 sisters named Odd and True. I think their names are Odette and Trudchen. And they slay monsters, and one of them has chronic pain. So all of that together just sounded really awesome. Like, I love stories about sisters, I love stories about girls who kill things, and I just like, I haven't read anything about someone with chronic pain in like 2 years. Then I went to the First in Line booth, and I signed up for First in Line, so they gave me a tote bag and said, here, you can pick one of these arcs. So I picked out I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica L. Sanchez. And this is about a girl who is not the perfect Mexican daughter because her ambitions are, you know, leading her to like leave home and like go study somewhere else and all this other stuff, and not just like stick with her family. And her sister is actually what her family thinks of as the perfect Mexican daughter because she is staying at home. But one day the good, perfect sister dies. So the main character has to figure some stuff out, and she finds out that maybe her sister was not exactly the perfect Mexican daughter after all. This comes out in October. So while I was at the first in line booth, I happened, like, right when I just happened to be there, was when they were giving out tickets to the Wonder Woman arc signing. So Leigh Bardugo was going to be there, signing arcs of Wonder Woman. So I was pretty stoked. That was like completely unplanned. I got this one and she signed it. And it was really funny because when I met her and everything, she was like, "How are you doing, my goth sister?" Because I was wearing like awesome gloves and like, yeah, and so I was decked out in like some goth-ish stuff. So I just thought it was kind of cool, because of course she's always decked out in like stuff that makes her look really witchy and cool. So I'm actually reading this right now. By the time this video goes up, I will have already finished it because I'm seriously almost done reading it. But it's really good. It basically is a Wonder Woman origin story, which is really interesting because Wonder Woman is a character who has been around for so long that she's had multiple origin stories, and I mean, they all stick to kind of the same key elements, but they differ in a lot of ways as well. And so it's really interesting reading this to see like what stuff changed and like what key elements kind of stayed the same. This comes out in August, and then within the next couple years, we're going to have Marie Lu writing about Batman, Sarah J. Maas writing about Catwoman, and Matt Della Pena writing about Superman, I think. So basically, like, that's really, really awesome. So it's basically a quartet of books that are all written by separate best-selling authors. iPod and I are definitely looking forward to the Catwoman one, because I was definitely a Catwoman girl growing up, and iPod was a cat growing up and is still a cat. Aren't you still a cat? But anyway, this follows Diana, aka Wonder Woman, but before she's Wonder Woman, who basically like risks exile from her Amazon island to save a mortal girl named Alia, who has a lot of people after her for reasons that she doesn't know, and turns out that Alia is a descendant of Helen of Troy and has some like really weird, destructive abilities. And one thing that I think is really, really great is how diverse this is. Like, Alia is black, and so is her brother, and so is one of their friends that becomes part of their like adventuring party, and then Alia's best friend is an Indian queer girl, and she's really badass. So there are a lot of really great characters in this. It's told in dual perspective between Diana and Alia. I saw that Epic Reads was doing an arc drop that consisted of 5 books, and you basically get up there and you pick one. So I noticed that one of them was Ramona Blue, and I really wanted to read that. I got up there though, and Ramona Blue was all gone. So, although that's not too bad because Ramona Blue like actually just came out in the past couple days, so it's not like I had that long to wait. But when I got up there, I got Timeless, Diego and the Rangers of the Vastlantic. So I'm not sure what this is about. I had never heard of this before, but it is about time travel and piratey people. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it sounds really cool. So next, I was hanging out with Vanessa from Paper Fairy, and we were, I don't remember what we were doing, but she was like, "Oh, there's this one arc I really want to get. Let's go to the HMH Teen booth." So we ran over there to the HMH Teen booth, and there was like no line or anything, and we were like, okay, wasn't there an arc drop or something? And she hadn't told me what arc it was, and what it turned out that they were giving out arcs of the second book in the Vengeance Road series, but they either didn't have them or they ran out or something like that. So they were giving out copies of Vengeance Road, the first one. So this is not an arc, it is a finished copy. Obviously, it's of a book that's been out for like a while, and a book that has been on my TBR for forever, and I never read it. I actually had this on hold from the library for a really long time, but I have lots of books that I check out from the library all the time, so I kind of just kept suspending it. and so I never wound up reading it, but now I have no excuse. Like, I have a copy, I can take it camping, like, whatever. And finally, the last arc that I got at a panel. It was the last panel that I went to, and it was called Fantasy-ish, and it had to do with kind of writing fantasy books and writing the resistance, sort of, in this, like, political climate that we're in right now. It was a really fascinating panel. So anyway, they were giving out arcs of The Waking Land by Callie Bates, and I was really, really looking forward to this, so I'm definitely going to read it very soon. It is about a girl named Ilana who basically was raised by the king as his daughter, practically, but then he dies, and no one really knows who did it, so they all think that she is the murderer, so she has to run away, and then she has to, like, fight against the people who end up ruling, all this other stuff. So there's like a rebellion and all this craziness. So anyway, I'm really excited to read this. I'm probably going to read it very soon on my camping trip, since it does come out next month on June 27th. So these are the books that I got in the month of April. I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!